Ever wondered which LEGO Star Wars minifigures are the best bang for your buck? Well, I went through all 1400 plus LEGO Star Wars minifigures to find the cheapest and finest ones out there that are under $10 US. Now, I'm not gonna put some trash looking minifigures although they're cheap. I'll really focus on the best looking ones, exclusive ones, and mostly unique characters. By the way, speaking of the best underpriced minifigures, can you guess how much this one is worth? And just a slight change with the prints on the head impacts its value? Let me know in the comments, and now let's delve into the video. First of all, if you're looking to get the best looking and cheapest Luke Skywalker, this one from Tatooine is the right choice for you. It was released in 8 different sets, which is probably why it's worth about $3. The details on that minifigure are insane, and you certainly wouldn't think that it's worth this low just by looking at it. At $3, it's an absolute steal. Another one is the Rebel Fleet Trooper, and although you can get some pretty good ones in the Boarding the Tentive 4 set that's currently retailing and are worth about $7 each, if you want to get some even cheaper ones that still look great, there is the OG right here that was released in 2 sets from 2008 to 2009 and is only worth about $3. You can definitely stack up on those to build an immense army. Next up, if you're looking to get the best underpriced Gonk Droid, this one is definitely for you. This amazing Gonk Droid was released in the 2023 TIE Bomber, and since it's still on the market, it's only worth $4. Compare that one to the other one that's $65, and I'm sure that if you have the choice between the two, you'd pick the 2023 version that even looks better. There's also that $2 Gonk Droid that was released in the Bad Batch shuttle, but I think it looks worse than the $4 one. Next one is the Gungan Soldier with printed head that was released in 2 sets and is simply underrated. LEGO definitely needs to make more of these guys because we need an army of them. Luckily, they're only worth $4, which makes them a much better alternative than the second version that's worth over $10 for not much of a difference. Of course, there's also the OG, but again, no pupils in his eyes, and this one's out of the equation. Next on the list is Yoda from the Clone Wars. This minifigure is just so underpriced just because it was released in 2 sets and had multiple variants that were released in multiple sets. It's only about $4, and man, is he a steal at that price. Next up, if you're trying to get the cheapest Luke Skywalker pilot out there that still looks amazing, the 2021 version is the one for you. He's only $4 and honestly looks really good. There are some older cheap versions as well, but they just look worse in my opinion. Next one on the list is the exclusive Wookiee from the 2016 Wookiee Gunship Microfighter. This exclusive minifigure is only $4, and I personally think that it looks even better than that 2019 $6 Wookiee Warrior. It's certainly great for army building, and I think it's an excellent affordable minifigure. Now of course you need some Stormtroopers. The cheapest one that looks the best would be the one that was released in 6 different sets from 2008 to 2010. This one is only worth $4, and I would argue that it looks even better than the newer Stormtroopers that have enormous helmets. Next up is this Captain Antilles minifigure that's only worth $4 as it was released in the Boarding the Tentive 4 set in 2024. It's fascinating how this version of the minifigure is better and cheaper than the previous one that came in the Tentive 4 in 2019, and yet is still $21 cheaper since the other one cost $25. So make sure to get that Captain Antilles before this new set retires. Next up is Jar Binks. Come on, we all love this iconic character, and since he was released in 3 different sets, he's only worth $5. This one is once again much better than the OG Jar Binks minifigure that doesn't even have pupils on his eyes. Up next is the Snowtrooper that was released in 4 different sets between 2014 to 2016. Now I know these aren't the cheapest Snowtroopers as the ones from the battle packs are $3, but I think those are the best ones LEGO has made. Not only do they have a comma, but their backpacks and printings are amazing. On top of that, they're only worth $5, which is severely underpriced due to their high quantity release, so it's easy to build an army of them. Next is the Ugnaught that's a classic Star Wars character and was only released in the Carbon Freezing Chamber back in 2016, so it's an exclusive minifigure. I'm not sure why it's only worth $5, so if you need more of these guys, luckily they're very affordable. Another excellent budget-friendly minifigure is the Geonosian from the 2013 Advent Calendar and the 2011 Geonosian Starfighter. I'm surprised that this one is only about $5, but it's great to build your Geonosian army, and I think it's one of the best affordable minifigure. Now, if you're looking to get a Mace Windu that's affordable, this is the one to go for. Not only does it have printed arms, it's only about $5 since the Republic Fighter tank just retired in 2023. I think it is the best Mace Windu on the market right now, even compared to the one from the UCS gunship. Next one is this Han Solo minifigure. This one was released in 4 different sets and is worth on average $5. Sure, it ain't the cheapest as we've seen some that go for $4, but it's the nicest looking one that will give you the best bang for your buck. By the way, if you're interested in purchasing any of these minifigures, feel free to visit my websites. The links are in the description. Next up is the Clone Bob Squad Trooper that is an exclusive minifigure released in the Clone Trooper pack in 2011. We all love that minifigure, and for some, it's even their favorite clone. That one is only about $6 since LEGO has made a bunch of these sets back in 2011. I remember all of my friends had that set. You were almost weird for not having it, lol. Anyway, the next one is Snowtrooper, who's also an exclusive minifigure released in the 2016 Advent Calendar, and is surprisingly enough only worth $6. I think it's a steal at that price considering that it's such an amazing Star Wars minifigure for the Christmas season. Next one on the list is one of the coolest Ewok that's only been released in 2 sets back in 2011 and 2013. This one is Logray. He's only $6 and the prints on that minifigure are fantastic. Perhaps that's why LEGO never released a different version of that minifigure afterwards. Next up is the Senate Commando released in 2015 that's only about $6 and is an amazing exclusive minifigure with printed legs. I'm surprised that it doesn't cost more than that, especially considering that his fellow Clone Wars version is $7 and was released in 2 sets. Next up, if you're looking to get a very cool Protocol Droid that looks similar to TC-14 and is only $6, Silver Protocol Droid U-3PO is the right choice for you. This minifigure looks fantastic and is exclusive as it was only released in the 2016 Advent Calendar. I think it's the best affordable Protocol Droid. Next up on the list, we have this Darth Maul that was released in 2021 and 2022 in these 2 sets. This minifigure is worth $6 and I think it's one of the best versions of Maul, plus he's super affordable. So if you're looking for a Darth Maul minifigure, you know which one to get. Next up, we got what's the best and most affordable Han Solo from Hoth. This minifigure is only about $6 and looks amazing. It's even surprising how cheap it is considering that it was only released in one 2016 set. Somehow this Darth Vader minifigure made it on the list and I think this is the best one you can get that's under $10. This one is worth around $6 and even has printed arms, which is amazing for its value. It was released in this mech, which is also still retailing. Another cool one is the Clone Commander from those 3 sets. Originally, it was $30 when it was a UCS Republic Gunship exclusive minifigure, but LEGO decided to ruin its value by releasing it in a $15 set and an Advent Calendar. So we pretty much have what's considered to be a $30 minifigure for only $6, which is a steal. Just to give you an idea, the other Clone Commander from 2013 that looks even worse is still $18, so you really do get a good bang for your buck there. By the way, if you think I'm missing any minifigures, feel free to let me know in the comments down below which ones you would have added to this list. Next is Asajj Ventress, who's extremely underpriced considering that this minifigure was only released in the Sith Night Speeder. She's only $7 and man, if you're a Clone Wars fan, you know what I'm talking about, and this is a must-have. Ventress is a savage and definitely needs to be added to your collection. Next one is a little obvious, but if you're looking to build your Clone Trooper army, this is the cheapest one on the market right now. It was only released in 2013 in 5 different sets and boy does it look great. This one is $7 and although it is a little more pricey, I think it's a must-have for any LEGO Star Wars fan. Another $7 Clone Trooper that everyone needs is the Phase 1 Clone Gunner that was released in 2 2009 sets and has magnificent prints. This one is also great for army building and remains to this day the only version of the Phase 1 Clone Gunner that LEGO has ever made. Next up is this Princess Leia that was released in 3 different sets from 2019 to 2022 and remains the cheapest one on the market today for the price of $7. This minifigure is great as it has an alternate face and a lot of details. So if you're looking to purchase a Princess Leia minifigure that's not too expensive, this is the one to go for. We also have Sebulba on the list, who surprisingly enough only worth $7, even though it was only released in 2 different sets. I think he's a pretty cool character and you can't really go wrong at that price. Moving on, we got Nahdar Vebb. I don't know how, but somehow the best Jedi made it into this list. This guy is worth about $8 and was only released in the General Grievous Starfighter back in 2010. Again, this is a set that everyone had when I was younger, so I think it was just released everywhere. Nonetheless, you definitely need the best Jedi. Then we have the Young Boba Fett from the 2013 Advent Calendar that's worth about $8 on average and is the cheapest Young Boba Fett on the LEGO market that you can get. Just to give you an idea, the OG that was released in the Jango Fett Slave 1 cost $25 and doesn't even look that great because of that yellow head and the lack of details, although I must admit that for a 2002 minifigure, the details are pretty impressive. Then you have that 2017 one, that's $39, which is ridiculously pricey for not much of a difference with the details of that 2013 Young Boba. Another amazing exclusive minifigure is Taun We, which is the only LEGO Star Wars Chameleon minifigure. This one was only released in Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter in 2022. It's worth about $8, and unless LEGO releases it again, I think it's one of those minifigures that will appreciate in value post-retirement. So I suggest that you get this amazing and inexpensive minifigure before it retires. Next one is the Death Star Trooper, and I'm shocked that this is only worth around $8 considering that it was only released in the UCS Death Star. It's definitely a classic minifigure that LEGO hasn't made enough of, so if you need to grow your empire and you're tired of only having Stormtroopers, then you can get these guys. Another amazing cheap clone trooper is the ARF Trooper from the 2011 Clone Trooper Battle Pack. This one is also exclusive and is only worth around $8, which makes it very affordable. It's definitely one of my favorite looking clones from the Clone Wars, and for its price, it's definitely a must-have. The Bith Musicians are also a classic minifigure that you can get for only $8. This one was released in 2 sets and it's probably one of the greatest minifigure that you can get for under $10. The mold is so good that LEGO re-released it in 2020, 6 years after its first release in this Mos Eisley Cantina. Another really cool one is the Clone Commando Sergeant Hunter from the Bad Batch, who's only about $8 and was only released in 2 sets. His minifigure is very cool and I think it's the only guy from the Bad Batch crew whose minifigure is under $10. Admiral Ackbar is also a great LEGO minifigure that's only $9. Although it was released in 3 different sets, it's such an iconic character that its value remains a little more on the high end. Nonetheless, it's still a great minifigure to have for its price. It's a trap. Next up, we got my favorite droid, Chudu 360.
Toto, are you done yet?
If you've watched the Clone Wars, you know that this droid is an absolute gangster. I'm very happy that LEGO actually made it in 2022 and it's currently worth $9, but I do think it's going to appreciate in value if it's not released in other sets. Alright guys, so we've come to the ultimate best LEGO Star Wars minifigure that will give you the best bang for your buck. This minifigure is Bo-Katan Kryze, that's around $9. I think it's an extremely underpriced minifigure considering that the printings on her armor are amazing. This minifigure was released in 2 sets, one of them being a polybag, and I think that's why it's so cheap. If you're a Clone Wars fan, that's definitely a minifigure that you'll want to have. There was also a version of her with printed arms that was released for the Mandalorian show, but the minifigure is twice the price at $19. $9 for this minifigure is just simply a steal of a price. To sum up, we have a total of 36 amazing and affordable minifigures on the list that will give you the most value at the cheapest price. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more LEGO content like this. Also, please let me know what other types of videos like this one you would like to see next. Write your idea in the comment section and I'll do whichever one gets the most likes. If you want to watch a similar video like this one, click on this video right here and I'll see you there. Take care everyone. Bye bye.